Hello and welcome to our conversation about a really important topic that I find myself talking with clients and people in general about quite often, which is letting go and outgrowing friendships. How to know when to do it, how to know the right path to go about it. And if me even introducing this topic brings up a lot of discomfort or confusion, you are not alone. As we get older, we all start to grow in so many different ways and so many different directions. And so, how understandable that people that we once used to connect with or really align with, we may not anymore. As we get to know ourselves more and more, or things that we used to do maybe don't feel good for us anymore. And that can bring up so much stuff. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a lot of tangible tips and thoughts to think through when this is happening for you in your life, because it will. Let's talk about the really real discomfort that comes with this process and learning how to navigate this in a way that feels good for you, for your life, for your mental health, and for your relationships. So if this is already your jam, I want you to make sure that you like and subscribe to this video and to my channel. My mission in the world is really to talk about the issues that we all navigate that contribute to how we feel mentally, emotionally, and internally. So every week you will find me popping in to chat with you and share about mental health in a really realistic, tangible, and approachable way. If we haven't met yet, my name is Chelsea. I'm a certified coach, a former psychotherapist, and I spent much of my early career working in college counseling centers, really getting to support so many amazing humans and young adults, and recognizing that there's so much that we go through as we get older that the world didn't really prepare us for. And then we start to create these stories around us being wrong or not enough, or we get lost in all of the shoulds. And I am really here to unpack a lot of that bullshit with you so that you can feel more supported in what you're going through, develop more awareness of how to tune into yourself, and then feel more self-guided as you allow yourself to take the best care of yourself and move into a life that you actually want to be living. Yeah? So let's talk about that today as it relates to friendships and outgrowing them or letting go of them and what that can really look like. So tell me if this sounds familiar. Maybe you've had a friend for a while and you start to notice that when you're with this friend, maybe you question yourself more. Maybe what they're talking about or gossiping about or concerned about really doesn't matter to you. Or you notice when you leave, you feel energetically drained, or you don't want to be doing the things that you used to do, and you feel like you have to, or maybe that you should, because you're not sure how this friend will feel if you start to change. This is just one example of how I see this playing out. But it's so important to name and acknowledge, because I cannot tell you how frequently I hear the shoulds guiding the way for how people feel like they can or cannot navigate their friendships. And then what that ends up leading into is spending a lot of time, energy, and effort, one, doing things or being around people that aren't actually adding to your life. Two, feeling conflicted all of the time, getting lost in a lot of decision fatigue of, should I say this? Should I not say that? Should I go to this? Should I not go to that? What are they going to think about me if I do this or if I don't do that? Right? And understandably, that's going to impact our sense of self, our emotional well-being. Or if we're being hurt by somebody intentionally or unintentionally, right? Of course, that's going to impact how we feel at times. And one of the hardest things about outgrowing or learning to let go of specific friendships is that nobody can know what's going on for you internally. Nobody can know how you're feeling about something unless you choose to invite them in and tell them, or you start to communicate, or you start to set boundaries, or you start to shift or change your behavior. And that's going to be so nuanced and so different in each of these individual and different friendships. So my first offering for you here is to start to tune into, I'm going to guess if you're tuning into this video, you already have some level of awareness of a specific friendship or a group of friends that isn't feeling so great for you right now. So where are you feeling the shoulds? Can you name that? Can you find that storyline that is making you feel like you have to continue this friendship in this specific way? And just observe it. Just name it. Where are the shoulds guiding the way instead of how you're actually feeling right now and how you relate to this person or this group of people? Then I want you to notice how you feel when you're interacting or when you're with this person. That's important to make space for, to get curious with, to explore it. And that's not to say that we are going to let our emotions just totally run how we make all of the decisions in our lives, but emotions often have a lot of helpful information for us to then make conscious choices of how we move forward and what we do next. So we're going to name the shoulds, and then we're going to think about how we feel when we are around or communicating or interacting with this person or group of people in some type of way. Then I want you to give yourself a whole lot of permission to know that people over time change. That includes you, and that includes the people around you. And we all grow and evolve and change at different rates and in different ways because we're all unique. So how can you give yourself permission to be just where you are right now without making yourself wrong or bad, or without needing to make that other person or that other group of people wrong or bad? Can it be okay that at least for right now, you are just not aligning? You are just not on the same wavelength maybe. And that's where some of the spaciousness comes in between learning how to let go of specific friendships, learning how to outgrow them, and just taking more space. So often I see kind of this polarizing approach to any kind of relationship where it is all or nothing. It's all good or it's all bad. It's all on or it's all off. And yes, there are absolutely going to be times and circumstances where that is appropriate. And that is what will make the most sense for how you move forward. But my next offering for you is to think about, what do you need in this friendship or in this relationship of some sort or with this group of people? Is it more of a hard cut? Do you need to just be set free from this and maybe have one of those conversations around what that looks like and communicate where you're coming from or how you're feeling? Or is it something that you want to just create more space from or set some more boundaries around and give yourself permission to lean out of that a little bit? And again, this is likely going to look different in each scenario, in each friendship and relationship. So before we move forward with more things to think about, with more how-tos, I want you to pause for a minute and think about, what is a story that either you hold or you've been taught around friendship that makes this idea of outgrowing and letting go of friends really hard, and drop it in the comments. So what I hear and what I see most often is that there's a lot of messaging that we receive around what our friendships should look like, be it through the media and different shows, be it through our families, be it through what we see modeled around us, that we can set a lot of rules and structures around what things should look like, right? There it is again. So this is your offering in your moment to just pause and think about, what are some of those stories or beliefs that you're holding right now around friendship that might not actually be, one, realistic, or two, supportive of you being your best self or allowing your own evolution to occur? Drop it in the comments below. I really want to hear from you. So if we hop back a little bit to what I shared, that growing apart or letting go of a friendship doesn't have to make either person or either party involved wrong or bad. Might that eliminate or help to alleviate, at least, a little bit of the pressure that you might feel around holding on to this or not letting this friendship end or grow or change in a way that is better and more supportive for who you each are now in this friendship, right? Because if we are demonizing somebody else, if we are making them wrong or bad or their way of living right now, maybe that doesn't match up with you and you're judging them for that, how are you maybe also judging yourself or making your needs at this moment wrong or bad? And if we eliminate that or alleviate that pressure, what opens up? Oftentimes that is the space in the middle. It is a sense of gray, right, in that all or nothing, where we get to exist as we are without having to force ourselves or someone else to change. And we get to instead be more comfortable and empowered to be who we are without needing everyone and everything around us to agree or understand, because that won't happen. So how can you support yourself in allowing for that exploration and realistically that discomfort, knowing that we are all growing, changing, evolving, wanting and desiring different things at different times in our lives, and that's all okay, and that we don't have to change ourselves because we've been friends with somebody for so long, or because we're afraid of how they're going to feel about where we're at or what our needs are. This is often the thing that I see people kind of sitting in their own minds about that holds them back from either having these types of conversations, allowing for more space in friendships and relationships, or ending something when it's no longer supportive or no longer healthy or no longer feeling good. So every point that I've walked through so far today, I want you to sit with it and question it. If we shifted some of these beliefs, if we allowed more space and more flexibility, what might come through? What might be possible? How can you release that pressure for things to stay the same when the reality is that as people and living here on planet Earth, we're changing, we're growing, our needs are shifting. Whether you're embracing that or resisting it, it's the truth. And how does it feel when you're not honoring yourself in that, right? Play that out a little bit. What's the other option? If we don't allow ourselves to outgrow or let go of certain friendships that maybe no longer align, how does your life feel? How do you feel as a human being? And really think about those questions. Maybe that might feel good to sit with and journal on. And really, how can we explore this to normalize that not everyone is going to grow in a way that is supportive and aligning and moving in the same ways or the same timeline or in a way that adds to our lives. And that's really what friendships are about, right? Connection, community, support. And yes, we're going to have disagreements with friends and we're going to have things that challenge us and when we don't agree, and that's all okay. But my guess is that if you're here and if you're tuning in, there's something coming up for you that's actually not aligning in a way that is taking away from your life, not in a way that is challenging your growth in that friendship. So I really want to empower you to be thinking about how can you discern what's coming up for you here and who and how do you want to be as you navigate it, and can we normalize that sometimes, yes, that does mean outgrowing or letting go of some people without having to demonize them. How does this offering sit with you? I'm so curious to hear. My last offering for you, if this feels really sticky, if this feels really hard, again, you're not alone. It is. It is. Most of us really want to be kind and compassionate and love the people around us. And the reality is that that's not always possible. So my offering for you is to take this mantra with you. To honor myself, I am allowed to lovingly outgrow what or who is no longer aligned. So keep that with you. And if this conversation so far is really resonating with you, this is so much of the work that I do, like I mentioned before. If you are ready to continue to build your self-awareness, allow yourself to evolve and to take the best care of yourself as you're getting to know more and more about what you need and who you want to be and how you want to be, and utilizing that to support your mental health and your relationship, both with yourself and with others, I want to invite you to book a connection call with me below to learn more about working together so that you can feel empowered and supported and really more fully stepping into that and living your life. And if you liked this video, I'm so glad. I am all about having these really real conversations. Make sure that you like, subscribe, drop your reflections below in the comments, and I will see you all next week for our next video coming to you live. All my love, friends.